Michael Kempner, founder and CEO of MikeWorldWide, talks to host Doug Simon on PR's Top Pros Talk.
Michael, how do you define the reputation economy?
Companies are all about reputation. Reputation is your brand. You know, Formerly people would buy really feature sets of products or feature sets of a company. Today, what they buy is reputation. So people will be more loyal to, they will try a product, they will try a service. They will, employees decide where they're going to work based on a company's reputation. And what's very different today is that if a good reputation helps you, but if you don't have the reputation, people will actively advocate against you. So, I like to think about that a good reputation gives you the license to operate, but a great reputation gives you the license to thrive.
Yeah, and you've clearly made the point that it's more important than ever, the reputation. But is there a way you can actually quantify and measure the return on reputation?
There's many third-party studies. I mean, just go on Google or ChatGPT, and you will find scores of analysis that will equate reputation to stock price, customer preference, customer loyalty. In addition, from here, there are a whole variety of measures we use, starting with baseline studies, social listening, a whole variety of different metrics that we can use to fully measure how an increase in reputation or a decrease in reputation either helps or hurts your company.
Sometimes people think like if your reputation is bad, it's almost impossible now to turn it around in this environment, or even if it's mediocre. What are some of the steps you can take? Obviously, preventing a negative reputation is probably the best, but if you've had some challenges in the past, how can you in effect rebrand your reputation?
Well, again, I think you hit it on the head. The first thing you have to do is make sure that you don't see reputation as an afterthought, that it's an active, intentional core part of how you define your brand, how you work with your employees, how you work with your shareholders, how you work with your stakeholder groups. Again, those companies that run their business based on their reputation and how critical it is to each of their stakeholders are going to be able to weather any kind of a crisis in a much better fashion. But listen, if you have a crisis and you have a problem, there are ways to mitigate it and turn it back around. But it has to be active and intentional. And it's something we deal with every day, both helping to create and defend reputations. And if you handle it right, often people judge you on how you handled the defense of your reputation. Are you transparent? Are you authentic? Are you honest? Are you willing to correct what the problems are? People will judge you very much on what you do to fix whatever problem you have.
Given that reputation now has become so much more important, are you worried that marketers might be hesitant to make bold moves because they're more afraid of a negative bounce back than pushing forward to make sure your reputation becomes elite and stays there?
I do think we're living in a crisis of confidence among marketers, among CMOs, CEOs, boards of directors. The fact is that there is a lot of risk. It's everything from negative blowback, which is very difficult to recover from. No one wants to be that person that makes the decision that causes negative blowback. But it's more than that. There's so much data coming in. How do you know what's the right decision, what's the wrong decision? Everybody has their formula. So, a place that we are investing heavily in uh, uh, is predictive analytics and using AI for deeper predictions. So I've always thought that the closer you can get to certainty, the easier it's going to be for your clients and other stakeholders to make a decision about moving forward with a program or a recommendation. Just think about it. If we could offer certainty, you won't get in trouble. This is going to work, 100%. I will hit these KPIs no matter what. Everybody would say yes. Now, that's not possible,
Right.
But today there are so many tools you can use um, to help get us closer to certainty that it makes it easier for marketers to make the decision to say yes. But we do live in a period of time where it's understandable why people would have a crisis in confidence.
Yeah, and you make a great point that there's not the 100% certainty, but one thing it can do, based on what I'm hearing you say, is instead of having to do full pivots on issues, maybe you just need a tweak or a slight change to align it with what you need to do. And I would say, even with a program that has maybe a high degree of success, there are probably going to be tweaks along the way. How do you manage sort of expectations about being willing to make adjustments with clients?
These should be a constant 360-degree feedback loop. So one should be measuring their programs on a continuous basis. So if you're doing any program right, you're always taking the learnings of what is happening and then putting it back into the decisions on what to do next, or even how to change because something isn't working, how to take something that's working really well and enhance it. So again, there's many different ways to measure and to capture sentiment around a program. And as technology improves and as AI gets more deeply embedded into these programs, it becomes easier and easier and even more critical to be able to measure and value the success or lack thereof in real time.
I get the feeling, and obviously in our industry, there are different trends that come and go. Let's work with boutique firms, let's work with giant agencies, let's spread it around, all sorts of things change. But I'm getting the feeling from you that you don't see the value and importance of reputation changing to the negative anytime soon.
Well, unless you have a negative reputation. But the fact is that no, reputation's here to stay. Um, there is a full shift in how people view companies, uh, companies, industries, products. Uh, you know, we live in, again, we started off, we live in a reputation economy, and your reputation is your brand. And again, a good reputation gives you the ability, um, gives you the license to operate. A bad reputation, you're out of business. But the key thing is here, create a great reputation, and you go beyond operating. You go to success and thriving.
That's great. Well, there's great information that you've shared with our viewers, and clearly you've taken the importance of reputation to note when it comes to the multiple firms that you've successfully built. Always great speaking with you, my friend.
Good talking to you.